What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video is just going to be a little bit of something different. I figured I would just take a little bit of time, take a break rather, in between filming the Mermail combo tutorial videos to just kind of show you guys a little bit of the behind the scenes of what I'm working with my overall setup whenever I film videos that involve me handling actual real cards. Because it is a little bit of extensive of a setup. It's probably going doing a little bit too much. But honestly, I think it yields a better quality considering the materials that I have to work with. But anyway, basically I'm in the middle of filming these combo tutorial videos, so I figured while I had this all set up, I might as well just go ahead and, do a little video on it. And yes, all the lights in my living room are off. The only light source that I have is this desktop lamp, which I'll get to in just a second. But the main powerhouse of my entire, operation is this little laptop over here with Windows 8 on it. I haven't upgraded. I probably just should, but it's just it makes it just a lot harder to film in downward perspective using a laptop, and that's why when I started doing YouTube I was using a desktop, and I got the laptop after my desktop died, and it was always extremely difficult to do any sort of videos and content in the method that I wish to do them, which is, as you see on the screen, a downward perspective, as if like I'm sitting in front of you showing it to you. So it makes it really hard to do that because you just have the webcam built into the laptop, so you do need some sort of separate webcam rig, which you can see here on top of this secondary desktop monitor that I have. I also just prefer to run everything through this monitor because it's a Dell monitor, and as compared to the monitor screen on the laptop, it has a much better color quality. And color feedback. Like, I just noticed, like, as soon as I got the thing, like, I was just able to see a lot more crisp colors. It just has a lot better feedback in terms of color. The webcam, a lot of people have asked me what webcam I'm using. I believe that's a Logitech C910, if I remember correctly. It's just it's a 1080p HD webcam. It does have a built-in microphone on it, but it's really garbled, and I don't use it and very often. Actually, I don't think I've actually used it once since I've gotten it. What I use for sound, actually, is I used to use a Logitech headset, but then about 5 months ago I upgraded to this thing. This is a Blue Snowball microphone. They're about 70 bucks. They're a nice entry-level microphone, desktop microphone. I honestly bought this expecting to only use it for about a month or two, and then as soon as I got my next AdSense check, to just go and upgrade up to a Blue Yeti for better sound quality and better sound fidelity and better control. But overall, this microphone has actually just exceeded my expectations. It's actually just one step down in reviews from a Blue Yeti microphone, but it's literally like between a third to half of the cost. And yes, it's a little bit more hefty, and it's a little bit harder to get it directioned the way you want it. But as soon as you figure out those sorts of things, you just ultimately get into some really good sound quality, and it's been great. I ultimately did buy this expecting to upgrade it within a month or two at most, and I've just been using it since for the past like 5 to 6 months, however long I've had it. And it's definitely just solved a lot of the sound issues I was having in the past, because, when you film with a headset on, you have all the sound popping and stuff like that, especially if it's like a hard plastic headset like the one I was using, for the sound quality that headset gave. I'm still a bit sick. Got some nonsense in my throat. But anyway, what you see, the rest of this is that webcam is sitting on top of that monitor, and that monitor is sitting in front of the surface that I like to just film in front of. No particular reason why, I just do it here. I just like to. I'd rather set it up here, and all the lights are off in the room, and I always light the video with this separate desktop lamp. This is a lamp that I've had for about a decade. I think they don't even make them anymore. I have to special order the bulbs for it, but it's a Verilux 3-in-1 full spectrum desk lamp, and it's mainly used for like drafting purposes or artistic purposes, because it just gives a nice soft incandescent light that just brings out, it mimics natural sunlight and brings out all the natural colors. It makes it a lot easier for you to like just see detail. Like it allows things to show up as if they would in natural sunlight, which, as if you're using any of these like bulbs that I have up here and all these can lights up here that are just LED bulbs, like you end up getting harsh lighting, you get a lot of weird glare, and that's another reason why I use that the same way that I do. I sit it up really close to the webcam and then tilt it backwards. That way, if I had the lights on above this setup, if I had the room lighting on, like there would be glare all over the cards, because the way glare forms is that the streams of light coming down from the ceiling would bounce off of the sleeve surfaces and then go up into the webcam. In fact, I can just replicate it in reverse with this light source here, because this light source is angled slightly towards me, slightly away from the screen. So if I get this, if I get my camera on my phone in the right position, and then position the cards where the apex of the light spectrum, like beam, I don't know the technical term for it, the photon current, I guess you could call it, I don't know, photons, light, science. I'm a very sciencely oriented person, but I didn't study like light sciences and stuff like that. But you just get glare all over it because the light is coming off of this this desktop lamp, bouncing off of the card sleeve and the card surface, and then going straight into the camera. Whereas with the rig setup that I have it on screen, I can move this around literally anywhere, and I only start getting glare when I get really close to where the light source is. But even then, it doesn't obscure the card, and it doesn't start getting into the camera optics and like start overexposing the picture and all that. And also, just because this is just an incandescent light source, it just makes it a lot softer of an image, as I've already said. A lot of people ask like the quality of like video that I do, like what my setup is. Like, this is just it. It does take a little bit of a while to set up and get right, because I do have to fiddle with the settings on the webcam for exposure and white balance and stuff like that. For every time that I switch the mats around, because each mat has a different color focus, and because the light and colors are so just naturally rich because of this light up here, and the light source is so close, like you can get some overexposure. But if you get it set up properly, like you just end up with a really nice and crisp picture, like you just see that I normally give out in my videos. Sometimes they are a little bit dark, but that is due to the fact that sometimes I don't adjust the settings properly, or it's just a very dark like background matte setting that I have as the setting for the video. But those ultimately are few and far between, because sometimes the problem with this webcam is, well, it's actually not just a problem, it's actually, I'd consider it its best feature, is the fact that it'll maintain the proper exposure and white balance, but like the brightness and contrast settings will always reset to their factory defaults every time you switch away from it and come back. So you don't end up with all these brightness and contrast settings that are all really weird. It always defaults back down to its zeroed out setting that it considers optimal for just a generic recording surface. But otherwise, I just have to change those every time, and if I forget to change them, then you end up with the videos that end up with a little bit of a darker look to them than I originally wanted. But yeah, this is just essentially what I wanted to show you guys. As you can see, there's a little Camtasia Studios recording bar over there. The way that I actually record these is that I'll record through Windows 8 in its highest video quality setting over here with the webcam, and that does record audio as well, but the audio is usually very choppy and poppy. So what I do is I actually record on the Camtasia software at the same time, and I sync it up in the editing software, and I take the audio from Camtasia and the video from Windows 8 and splice them together, because the Camtasia recording audio is absolutely crisp and crystal clear, whereas if I'd uploaded a video with the audio from the Windows 8 recording software, it would be a little bit, it's not even that it's choppy, it's just that it like pops in and out very, very frequently, and it's something that I don't really find attractive. I always like to make things like as high of production quality as I can, and that's ultimately what just came to this little setup. I'm just sitting here in darkness with Yu-Gi-Oh cards filming videos. But yeah, this is a little bit longer than I wanted to get in terms of the video, but I just had a lot of people asking the kind of stuff that I use for this exact, you know, reason and this exact purpose. Just a blue snowball microphone, costs about $70. If you do any sort of recording, audio recording, I definitely suggest it, because if you're ever doing any sort of video or any sort of medium that includes video and audio, the improvements on audio are going to be much more well received and much more noticed than any improvements you do on video. So if you ever have a budget to improve either audio or visual qualities, go with audio first. Audio is always the most perceived difference and upgrades that you can do. That's something that I was told by a graphics designer that I used to go to school with. Whenever I'm talking with him about different things that I can do for this channel and like improving my video quality output, he always tells me exactly what I need to know, and it always gets me exactly where I need to be. And he's basically taught me everything that I know that I'm using to help other people as well. But anyway, that's basically all I wanted to show you for this video, guys. It's a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I mean, hey, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you guys watched it all the way through, it's because you were enjoying the information and enjoying just learning a little bit about what I do day in, day out. And also, this phone actually has like a pretty amazing camera on it, so this might actually get used more in the future at events. But anyway, that's all for this video. As always, guys, take care.